Hello students. In our literature paper, we have to adopt a technical skill, and that technical skill is to read short stories, novels, poetry, and literature in general. As we have seen that literature is a manifestation of human lives. It's an expression of thoughts, experiences, reflections of an author on the lives. And what does this stands for? It is definitely very difficult to judge. There are various so-called themes and opinions that are expressed by the authors. But needless to go into all these details. As we have seen, there is every work of art wish to convey us a kind of a message. The, the study of literature is definitely is read for academic formalism, at the same time it is the essence of the lives that we see. It stands for the record of the lives and the human being that we see around us. So, the depth of the good book is dependent on the depth of the life, because a great book naturally emerges out of directly from a life. There are fresh relations with life, because literature is a vital record of what man has seen. Literature is all about experiences of lives, what they thought, what the author felt, what expression is varied in the proper sense. And that is what we have seen. There are great literature that able to express the great things, great lives, provides us a slice of life. जीवनाचा एक तुकडा, एक भाग आपल्याला सादर करत असतं प्रत्येक साहित्य, प्रत्येक लिटरेचर. आपल्या कन्व्हेन्शन्स वेगळे आहेत, संस्कृती वेगळी आहे. तसं बाहेरच्या देशांच्याही काही संस्कृती, लाईव्स, ट्रॅडिशन्स, कन्व्हेन्शन्स, रिच्युअल्स सगळं वेगळं आहे आणि सर्व समाज वेगळा आहे. पण मॅन, जो आपण मानव म्हणतो, मॅन इज अ सोशल ॲनिमल अँड ही इज ॲट द सेंटर ऑफ द सोसायटी. सो ही is what he becomes in the society, what he experiences in the society. All his observations, ideas, emotions, feelings, which whatever may be, is revealed to us, and that is what we have seen. A great book is definitely such a one that emerges out of the brain and heart of the author, because he has to put his heart into the book, into the short story, into the novel. They partake of his life. Author partake of his life, and that is what we have personal intercourse in novel. Literature is at the bottom of expression of life. Literature is definitely, it is about life, so it is criticism of life. And that is what we have seen, because life conveys some kind of essence to us. Life is provided in a slice of life. Every book is giving us a slices of life. In our study of literature, we have to ask in a very humble and simple way. If we take a great book, we must try to penetrate as deeply as we can see into the personal life. And that is what this is the starting point of all what we think. George Eliot, she felt the art of literature is the nearest thing to life in comparison to other arts. Thus, literature makes us partakers in life larger, richer, and more varied than we ourselves can even, as an individual, knowledge think of. So, literature is nothing other but the lives that we see. There is something the author has to tell us. He feels that he feels there is something that needs to be communicated to the other world. Some morals, some kind of life lessons that this is a life. That what you have to infer, you can free to do that. It is all about this. So, if we recognize this need, we raise the question of course, of that pursuit. Most natural and most profitable of our plans is to study the author's work. To study a particular author is to study his work. In order to know Balzac, we have to arrange his works in order in which they were produced. So, in chronological way, we can also have this type of reading. Personal life in literature, we shall also, of course, great will be helped by understanding his work of art and his contribution to the life. So, what does the writer has brought us? This type of method that we need to emphasize and find out. So, there is the moral of the story, the moral of the lives, that okay, this way the human beings should not behave, or this is the way human beings should behave. But there is a moral. Some characters are very large, larger than life. Such characters needs to be understood. There are smaller, say, themes or subjects that are dealt with by the author. Some life experiences, some personal experiences, some type of so-called experiences with regard to love, frustration. There may be so many types of issues and things that are dealt with. So, while reading, we need to understand the stories and the subject. Novel, and what are the subjects or themes that the author has dealt with? What is the philosophy sense that is at the root of the characters? Are the characters right? Out of situations, out of eventualities, what are the things that have taken place in the plot? We need to understand this. Subjects may be many. There are so many subjects that the author may deal with: love, romance, adventure, fate, frustration, war and peace, patriotism, alike. There are so many such say history, historical background, love, romance, adventure. All these may be the subjects, and alike there are so many subjects the author deals with. Maybe themes of the novel or the short story. In our beautiful so called novel or short stories, we are going to study the basic so called essence of the story in the last leaf, Nightingale and Rose. There are very beautiful short stories that are prescribed for us. मग आपल्याला ह्या स्टोरीमधून हे अशा अनेक प्रकारचे थीम्स कशा असतात काय ते आपल्याला समजेल. बघा, essence the author wished to convey through plot of the short story. The author needs to convey the essence. There are certain things, and these things are at very deep root action of the plot. It is very basic at the plot, and how the plot evolves depends on that essence. We have seen throughout a drama, throughout a plot, or plot of the drama or plot of this novel or short story, there is at a very deep level a story that is taking place, playing its role, which is conveyed through the plot. And this essence that the author wished to convey may turn up in the form of events. This is a writer just gives on details and events and eventualities, actions. But there is some kind of a philosophy that as a reader or as the spectator of a theatre, we must infer and understand that. So it is dependent on all this. And in short, it may be called themes. It's a life philosophy of the author. It's outlook of the author. The writer wished to convey this is the life, this is the human beings behave, this is the way that human beings may suffer, this is the way human beings may become happy, or this is the way you should not behave. So accordingly, we have such consequences that we see in the author's life. So the author's life philosophy is presented in the literature. It is all about the lives that we see. So we have gone through this. These themes are part of our literature, and it is of course very essence. It is very basic in understanding of the plot, or as we have seen in the point of view, it forms the philosophy, it forms the subject. In The Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, the marriage, the worries to get the daughters married, nuptial love, frustrations, disappointments, all these may be called as themes of the novel. How we have to expand on that? That when we will go through this term or this novel in the subsequent coming lectures, we will go through this. But it is all about the plot and the philosophy of life. The writer has the essence to tell to the world, and that we see under the term that is themes. So, there are these so-called terms in novels. The short stories that I mentioned here will tell you more when we study in the prescribed format. Since then, we need to more and more go into our textbook, that is M.H. Abraham's book, Glossary of Literary Terms. I hope you need to go through this book and take the printout of the same. Thank you.